it's time to inspect that rear end. Of course, since it is so old and worn out, I think we're going to need both hands. Hey, what's going on? Sorry it's been a week since the last video, but I got kind of tired of releasing talky videos and not doing any work. I know if I was watching a channel to see a truck getting built and all I ever saw was the guy blabbing about it, I may not keep watching. So anyway, I'd rather wait a week and give you a decent video. So that's what we're doing today, hopefully. I think we're going to tear into this rear differential that we picked up. The center section, I should say, of the Ford 9-inch. Okay, so anytime you buy a mechanical component that you know nothing about, you really need to take it apart and inspect it. But I'm especially concerned on this one because of things like all three of these bolts are basically finger tight. There we go. I can turn these with hand. These are tight on this side, but these three are all loose, which makes me wonder why. And it's also missing the yoke on the front. But the goal for right now is to just inspect all the bearings, bearing races, things like that. Make sure we're okay. We don't have any massive damage. There's no chips in any of these teeth, things like that. Hey, look, I'm using power tools. Aren't you guys happy? I never do that. All right. Without marking them. All right. All right. Okay. So I should be able to pull this center section out now and have a look at things. So I can do this without breaking myself. Break yourself. All right, there we go. Okay. And okay. What we'll do is we'll have to take this front nose off to get this out, is I believe how that works. That seal looks pretty wasted anyway. Oh yeah, it's a big chunk out of it. Let's see what kind of shape we're in. So we're going to check out these races first. These things seem to be okay. These are the adjusters. These just move it side to side to line up your ring gear with the pinion. Okay, so it's definitely got some wear and some pitting actually. Nothing that concerns me as far as you could still run this honestly, and you could still, yeah. It looks like normal wear is what I'm saying, so I'm not that concerned about it, but I don't know how much you'll be able to see on camera, hopefully all of it. But there's definitely some, I'll move it around so the light can catch it. Just minor pitting, like barely any. I don't know if you can see all that in there. See it when I run the light around it? So that's some tiny stuff. This would probably be okay to run for a while this way. The other side probably look about the same. Same thing on this side. This side actually looks even cleaner than the other one. But there's still, you know, obviously there's marks and you can tell where the bearing was riding. Let's see what the bearing itself is like. That feels really good actually. There's a little grit. It wasn't in the housing when I picked it up. It was loose laying on the floor. So I'm sure there's dust and dirt in here. Another reason to take it apart is to clean it all really well. But I'll probably run these bearings for now. We'll see how they feel after I clean everything up. Alright, I know some ring gear bolts go backwards. I'm going to assume these are normal and see what happens. Hopefully I don't break anything. Yeah, they're regular threads. Okay, cool. And in keeping with the channel, I have never taken a Ford 9-inch center section apart before. So hey, we're doing new things, which is what I like doing. All right. We'll get the rest of the stinky stuff. Sure, keep all this stuff together. Yeah, that's gonna be cheaper. Hopefully no one's screaming at the screen right now. I'm screwing something up. Yeah, you know what I mean? There could be something I'm missing here. Now, the question I have is, Can I just tap that around with like a plastic hammer and knock it off, or is that shit like pressed on? One might think, since I've never done this before, I might have watched a video on how to do it first. No, it doesn't seem like it's moving at all now. Let me try. I'm not sure this thing's moving. Let me try something different. It could be pressed on. I don't know. It looks like it'd be a pain in the ass to press on and off. No, that doesn't work. I think we're going to have to do it like this. Okay. Alright. Let me see if I got a piece of metal I can put in there. There we go. We got us a body spacer from the S10. That's why I don't throw a little piece of metal away. Alright. Please be uneventful. There we go. Got about a 1/4 inch of space there to catch that if it drops, hopefully. Alright, we're touching and we're pulling. There it goes. Uneven because, you know, the press sucks, but it's moving. Yeah, it just released basically. Okay, the wood caught it, so it should be loose now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. Alright, back to the bench. Alright, so now we got a ring gear off. Alright. Just get all the oil out of there just for the sake of doing it. So we got a screw here to screw here. Well, those weren't tight at all. Hopefully they're not supposed to be. I was just thinking of, if anybody's watching this and thinking I'm completely messing it up, it'll already be messed up by the time you see this. It gives a little vibration. I swear I saw somebody just pull this apart. Alright, let me go check the internet real quick. So I think this is supposed to basically kind of fall apart, but and I don't think this is probably the preferred method of taking it apart, but it's working. I'm seeing the gap form. It sounds different, but I also feel like I'm damaging it. So I'm going to stop hitting it. Matter of fact, I might be making it tighter hitting it like that. If it's folding it in a little. We'll see in a minute when I get it apart. Well, people, I don't know. I'm afraid to keep hitting it with this hammer. But this hammer seemed to be the only one that was getting us anywhere. Alright, it's moving. Barely over here. It moved pretty far over here. I have a hard time believing this is the right way to do it. I don't think all these marks are mine. Some of these, I'm using a flat face and there's some really sharp gouges in this. So I think somebody might have wailed on it once before and kind of closed this up a little so it's too tight on here. Because I'm pretty sure this just falls out. There, literally, you could find absolutely nothing on how to take this apart. So that shit usually means that it just comes apart. See, it's making sounds. There we go. We'll have to deburr this whole thing and whatnot so it goes back together properly. So far so good, normal wear on everything. Now I've never been inside a 9-inch, so when I say normal wear I just mean what I would probably expect just from age and whatnot. And that's holding up pretty good too even. There's a little bit of a gouge in it, but I don't think that's hurting anything. So let me get a punch. We'll pop this pin out because there is a pin holding this cross shaft. You see it sticking out there. That should be a good size. Knock that out of there. Alright, so without that there, we should be able to slide this pin out. So as you can see there, it's coming out. This gear's already loose. I don't want to pull it out yet because there's a shim in there. Actually, I do want to pull that out so I can make sure I get the shim as well. So I want to spec that. That's exactly what I would expect for the age. And like I said, we already looked and didn't see any marks on the teeth themselves. That looks about right. Bring this out. And again, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just looking at the bearing surfaces and contact surfaces and the like. That doesn't look like it's been ovaled out or anything in there. That looks good. Check the other side real quick. I don't think it has any issues, but let's just make sure. Yeah, she looks good. Pretty good, pretty good. Kind of where do we show here? Yeah, there's a little bit of wear. I can almost catch my fingernail in that. Same on this side. This side's smoother, but there are lines. Hopefully that's focusing so you guys can see them. But not too bad, not too bad. I believe that's perfectly usable. Alright, let's see what this all looks like. I can also, while I'm here, I can count these teeth, which I already did. It's 28. Alright, again, no damage, no odd wear. So yeah, I don't think I'll be needing to order much in the way of parts for this thing. Alright, cool, and it's a gear ratio I'm going to use. I checked the gear ratio. If my math is correct and I end up with the tires I'm planning on, we're going to be at like 2,260 miles an hour, so I can live with that. This is just a spacer shim, but I want to make sure it didn't get hot and catch and start spinning or something like that. What you're looking for is you want to see rainbowy colors. Well, you don't want to see it, but rainbowy colors and whatnot would be an indication of heat. There's a little bit of it on here. You can see it right in here if I get the light just right. So let me see what I can do for you guys. Hopefully that works. But yeah, there's a little heat scoring right in there. A little more over here, but it's a pretty minute amount. I think it's probably usable again. Let's check this clutch back. I don't want any chattering, I don't want any slipping, I don't want any of that nonsense. So it's kind of falling apart in my hands, so let's keep her together and start having a peek at some of these parts. Ooh, this one's got some marks on it. So this side gear has definitely got some pits on it and whatnot. I don't think that's going to keep it from being usable at all, but I just find that interesting. I think that's interesting. It's just metal on metal there. Alright, well, yeah, there's a little bit of marks. There's a little bit of a ridge. I can catch my fingernail in some of that, right there especially. And catch my fingernail in this area. There is a little bit of a line there. Interesting. I don't know if that's any good or not. Alright, let's start going through these bad boys. Let me flip it over and start having a look. Oh, that looks good. It does look good. Alright, alright. Yeah, these all look pretty good. I don't see any purple marks. I don't see any evidence of heat. I'm pretty stoked here. That's pretty good. Clutches all look good. Plenty of meat left on them. I believe these are called frictions and steels, just like in a transmission. Oh yeah. She's good. She's good. Alright, I feel good because that housing's pretty much a pile of crap and I paid a lot for it. I kind of ate it on that housing, but at least the center section seems to be fine. Okay, I see what's going on. That's just a spacer. Okay, that looks fine. We also have a shim slash spacer here. Same situation, no marks or anything on that. Alright peeps, I think we're good to use this setup. Alright, one last thing to check before we know we're good to go. Let's check that pinion. Alright. Oh, there we go. Alright, check out our first bearing and race here. It looks just fine. Looks the same as the side bearings, tiny bit of pitting. That feels kind of sloppy. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's check this one. That feels good. A little gritty like everything else. But I don't see any scoring or pitting on the rollers. And the race looked good, so I'm going to assume that one's alright. And we got this bearing here. Actually, that feels good. I'm at least going to look at these rollers. If they look clean, I'll worry about it later. Yeah, this is fine too. Okay. Because it sounds terrible. A lot of grime in there, a lot of dirt. Alright, maybe I'll just go ahead and replace bearings. I hate to do it when there's no need, but I think I will. Alright, well we got to set this thing up right, make sure it's right. So, I'm just going to reassemble it for now. We're going to call that good. Okay, so at least it looks like we did alright on that track lock. I don't see anything wrong with it. The clutches don't look worn. There's hardly any marks from heat or wear. I'm just going to do a basic cleanup and put that thing back together. And that should save us a few bucks, so I'm really happy about that. So yeah, there you go. Might have tires coming. I'm going to start getting into measuring out for a frame on this thing, figure out how much metal I'm going to need, and exactly what metal I'm going to need. I need to tear into this engine next. I think I mentioned that already. So look for that stuff coming up. I'm going to also drop a video on fixing that antique clamp. I know a lot of you won't care about that, but you know what? It might help some of you, it might not. And it was a project I'm doing in the shop. Uses the same techniques as you would use in a restoration on an older car, so if it helps you guys, great. If it doesn't, well, I hope you enjoy it at least. And if not, just don't watch it. So I plan on being out here in the shop a lot over the next several days, so hopefully in the next couple videos will be a couple in there that I'm actually working on this damn truck, because we're running out of days. We're down to like not a lot of days, 4 months or something before this event, and I haven't even started putting a frame under it. So unless I want to take a bare shell out there and just stand next to it looking stupid, I need to finish it so I can stand out there next to a finished truck looking stupid. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys when I see you.